Yeah. All right. I'm live, y'all. Ready to get started in just a second. All right. Y'all ready? I am. Oh, yeah. Okay. Right there. Where that mouse at? You know what? I'm gonna get some more space out right here. All right. Let's do it on time. Yeah. That's all. All right.
Those of us that indulge in or commit intellectual violence don't do so for the pleasure of mental masturbation or easily victims. We do so because the chains of oppression is so deep and difficult to remove.
Good morning, my children of the sun. Welcome to The Open Eye. I'm your host, third eye optometrist, Patrice Gibbs, right here on WHGE 95.3 FM, the education advocacy station. That's right. And I know how you've been feeling all week, waiting for Saturday at 11 a.m. to get with the open eye. Never fear. Your third eye optometrist is here. All right. Let's get it going. Let's get it started. Oh, well. Delaware is catching up. This is from Eric Morrison, running for state rep. I don't know when he's running, but okay. I guess he ran. I don't know. But great news. Today, HB 150, which will legalize cannabis in Delaware, passed the House Health and Human Development Committee by a large margin, following over 3 hours of discussion, debate, and public comments. All right. So that what they're saying is Delaware is finally catching up, and it looks like Delaware is going to legalize marijuana. One of the things that Eric Morrison talked about was, first, we often do not talk about is that cannabis prohibition is rooted in racism. He's absolutely right. In the 1930s and 1940s, the first commissioner of the U.S. Treasury Department's Federal Bureau of Narcotics, Harry Jacob Anslinger, began a war on cannabis specifically to target Mexican Americans and African Americans. Anslinger is responsible for cannabis prohibition in America. He and his bureau especially targeted Black Americans as the Jazz Age grew and as Black Americans moved northward. Now, I'll tell you something about Anslinger. Harry Anslinger, one of the things that motivated him was trying to keep his job, because in the 1920s, he was a prohibition agent. And what was it, the Bureau of Narcotics or Bureau of Alcohol? I think the Bureau of Narcotics. It was the Federal Bureau of Narcotics. All right, he's the first commissioner. I think that was after Prohibition. And what it was, he needed to keep a job, for one thing. Another thing, he's foaming at the mouth, rabid racist. Okay, anything that wasn't white Anglo-Saxon Protestant, he hated. Okay, and I tell you, during the Jazz Age, which was really the 20s, it's called the Jazz Age, but after that, he wouldn't have had a job. And another thing was hemp production. Okay, William Randolph Hearst, who owned the Hearst publications, Hearst newspapers, and what have you, also owned a lumber company. And that lumber company produced paper. Okay, paper produced from lumber. That's where it came from. The hemp industry could produce paper a lot cheaper and a lot more efficiency, a lot more efficient than than lumber companies. And Hearst did not want that going on. So one of the things he paid off government officials, big surprise, and what have you, to make hemp production as well as marijuana illegal. So that was part of the motivation. Of course, Harry Anslinger, like I said, trying to keep a job and hating blacks. He actually said that marijuana made black people feel equal to the white man, and and made them want to chase after white women. That's what marijuana. What was that movie, Reefer Madness? Oh yeah, he believed all the crap that was in Reefer Madness. If you've never seen this cult movie, it should be a comedy, but it was actually taken seriously in the 30s when it was made. That marijuana is just make white people act like N-words. That's what Harry Anslinger's concern was. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Now, many states have legalized marijuana, not only medically, but for recreation. Most famously, and the earliest state to do so was Colorado. And of course, Colorado has saw a lot of benefits from legalizing marijuana, specifically in their tax revenue. They've been able to cut property taxes. They're improving their infrastructure. They've given to schools, hospitals, and everything. So, wake up. Let this bill go through. That's House Bill 150. 150. If your representative is not supporting that, you need to check them. Yeah, you need to check them big time. This is the Open Eye. The Open Eye is brought to you by the Delaware Center for Homeless Vets, founders and builders of the Pearl Center, the Veteran-Specific Apartment Building. DCHV, Delaware Center for Homeless Vets, changing veterans' lives all over Delaware.
WHGE 95.3. The views and opinions expressed in the Open Eye are those of the hosts, guests, and contributors, and do not reflect the policy or positions of WHGE 95.3 at them nor our sponsor, the Delaware Center for Homeless Vets. Any content provided by Open Eye's hosts, guests, or contributors are theirs and are not intended to be found in any religion, ethnic group, company, or individual.
The Open Eye, Patrice Gibbs. All right. I may have mentioned this last week, but I'm not sure. If I did, I didn't go into a deep discussion about it, but I'm going to talk about it a little bit today. Learning about the fall of Rome. Excuse me. Sounds pretty sucky. A plague resulting in labor shortage, bad military leadership, Christianity matter more than the government, multiple civil wars, infighting, decisions created to benefit the rich more than the poor. Hey, wait a minute. What that sound like? Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sounds like the great America. Yeah. Let me give you some of that again. Labor shortage, bad military leadership. The military industrial complex is sucking money out of America. Oh my God, like a prostitute on a good night. Oh, it's just awful. Oh, I'm telling you, Eisenhower warned us about that. Christianity mattered more than the government. Yeah, these religious zealots are trying to change laws and what have you. And, America is supposed to be, have this thing about separation of church and state. Some lawmakers come in with the mindset, with the ideal that they are going to govern based on their religious beliefs. That's where you're going to have trouble. Multiple civil wars. Well, we only have one civil war, right? Yeah, we have one civil. What is that? That's that thing. I'll put something on that. Anyway, we have one civil war in which the Confederacy lost the war. But what we know is the Confederacy won the peace, which is why we had all these Jim Crow laws all over the country, and which is why we have racism that really hasn't changed since the end of the Civil War, maybe before. We had pseudo-slavery with the prison industrial complex. We have, of course, cops murdering blacks wholesale. And it's something now. We have this thing that has recently come up that Asians are suffering from white supremacy. Of course, that's not how they initially presented the propaganda. Yeah, I said propaganda, because what they initially wanted to do was give the ideal that it was black people that were attacking Asians. 3 little incidents and what have you. When that didn't work out because white supremacists murdered 6 Asians and 2 whites. The thing is, what you have to understand, I had somebody break it down real nice too. What you have to understand about white supremacy, because what a lot of people have in their mind is that a white supremacist is a throwback to Bull Connor, or, the white, toothless, big belly country boy, looking forward to the next lynching of a black person. What that mindset does, not only for some black people, but for the vast majority of white people, is give the ideal that this is the only manifestation of white supremacy. No. The structural violence. And when I say structural violence, I mean the racism in education. We'll get to that in a minute. The racism in medicine, in healthcare. The racism in of course, the judicial system. The racism in I say education, I say housing. In every facet of our society, the influence of white supremacy is there. The microaggressions that black people have to deal with. And when I say microaggressions, I mean, the racism in employment. You get a job somewhere, and what happens? You get on the job and you're advancing and what have you, and you have some white person questioning your qualifications. You only got that job because of affirmative action. Or you're on the job and You know, they're just doing nasty little racist crap. This is what I mean, the microaggressions. They want to tell you a racial joke. You know, they want to show up on Halloween in blackface. You know, they want to, you know, ask you stupid questions about, why are black people's hair like that? Or come to work after a vacation because they got a tan. Oh, I'm almost dark as you. That crap ain't funny. You will never get this dark. You are not blessed with melanin. Get out of here with that mess. Yeah, America is modern day Rome. One thing you have to remember, if you know the history of Rome, is that Rome, for the most part, imploded. And that's what America is doing. America is imploding. America militarily is the most powerful nation in the world, in the history of the world. You know, one of the things that Trumpsters, especially when they first came out, that MAGA stuff, make America great again. When was America great? There was a time when America was the #1 nation, you know, as far as education, healthcare, and infrastructure, and, you know, inventing things and this, that, and the other. Those days are gone, long gone. As America no longer takes care of its infrastructure, no longer takes care of its societal ills. Because what America does now, instead of dealing with its societal ills, is all they do is funnel money up to the rich. You know, and if you mention this, they say, oh, well, it's class warfare. That's class warfare. Excuse me, class warfare was already declared on the poor and working class. It's been declared on the poor and working class. That's what y'all got to get hip to. That means whether you black or white. When they came along with Reaganomics, trickle down. Yeah, you know what trickle down? Piss. That's what trickled down. Because there's no damn money trickled down to nobody. This is an open eye. WHGE 95.3 FM. In the studio. Yo, my partner in consciousness. And Nsoromma in the house. How you doing, bro?
Good, homie, good.
All
you
right.
said trickle down.
Yeah.
Oh,
that was voodoo economics. That's what George G.W. Bush called it. Whatever his name was.
Voodoo economics.
Voodoo economics. The trickle down. The money going to trickle down. Don't you worry about. We're going to cut taxes on the rich.
Wow.
We're going to raise taxes on poor and working class people. We're going to raise taxes on services. But don't you worry about it, because the money going to trickle down. Y'all been waiting for that money to trickle down for the last 40 years. And guess what? You know what trickle down? What I just say? Piss. That's what they peeing on you and telling you it's true. It's raining money. Oh, no, it ain't. No, it ain't. You're catching hell, you morons.
Yo. What's good, my brother?
Oh, man, I'm on them today.
I hear you.
Yes,
I
indeed.
was like, yo.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I'm on them today, bro. That's word. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone.
Ah, indeed. Good morning. Good morning. No, so how you doing, brother?
Cool.
All right. You know what?
What?
I'm gonna need black people to stop excluding artsy, nerdy, alternative black kids just because they are interested in things that are stereotypically black.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
I don't like that either. I mean, it's we make it a bad thing to be smart.
Yeah, you know.
You crazy.
You know.
Get it together. Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power. Yes, indeed. You know what? And then that reminds me of something. You said we make it a bad thing to be smart. Reminds me of a couple of things.
Right.
One, when my niece, who is a mother and what have you now,
Right.
when she was in high school, my niece is a very bright young lady. All right, she was a great student in high school. She made the honor roll, which was, that's expected. Hey, we Gibbs do that, okay?
Right.
All right. She made the honor roll. A girl in the hall at school had found out that my niece made the honor roll and stabbed her.
Wow.
If my niece had not put her arm up, she would have stabbed my niece in the chest and killed her.
Wow.
For making the honor roll. Luckily, my niece put her arm up and got stabbed in the arm.
I mean, man, it's crazy, man.
Yeah.
The jealousy and envy and all the things that's been injected into our historical DNA that is transferred to even our kids. You know what I'm saying? We have to break that. We really have to work on ourselves and making that happen for ourselves, because we doing it to ourselves a lot of the time.
Yeah,
that's just real.
That's just real. So stop making black people feel like they have to be a certain way to fit in. Okay, now you know what? Let me clear that up for you, so people don't get mixed up about that.
What?
Okay, when I say stop making black people, who are different from you feel like they aren't black enough. Right. I am not talking about you idiot. Yeah. Catch me, bro. I am not talking about black conservatives, okay, who are sellouts and coons and nigger pig bitches, and buck broken.
Oh, you mean you searching for something?
Oh yeah. I'm trying, bro. I'm trying. I do not mean these black conservative morons who are telling black people, get off the Democratic plantation, just because we all don't think alike. No, I am not talking about you. I am talking about young people that may not play basketball. Young people that maybe not be able to can't dance. Okay, they can't spit a rhyme.
Right.
That may not even listen to rap music because of their parents' influence or something.
Right.
Yeah, that's who I'm talking about. I ain't talking about you morons who have traded us out. Because all skin folk ain't your kinfolk. I ain't talking about y'all.
That's what they said.
That's word. Now, we will be the first to bully one of the weird black kids. When I say the weird black kids, I was sort of a bit of one of those weird black kids because, I love reading and this, that, and the other. And you know what? It was crazy. The bullies would get it mixed. And stuff that, he goes to the library all the time, this, that, and the other. Those that didn't know me away from school would get it mixed and come up a roll talking about, give up your lunch money and get your ass whooped.
Yo, I mean, a lot of people and a lot of bullies can tell who the bully and who not.
Oh yeah.
So,
a lot of them can, but
I never was really bullied by nobody like that. I was always the one that
put a stop to that.
I meant neutral dude. You know what I'm saying? Between everything, I can roll if I want with the bad ones, or I can roll with the good ones. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I was just a neutral dude all the
time. I heard that. I tried to be. I swear I did.
I mean, you had to step off the line sometimes to straighten people out.
Oh, yeah.
Let them know how smart you are, because sometimes they think you're dumber than what you are. So you have to cross the line on both lines. But mainly, I just stay neutral in general until what's needed is needed, and then I'll pull it out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'll put that jacket on for the moment.
Yeah. I heard that, brother. And like I said, the worst thing in the world, because our children are dealing with enough.
I mean, just the society and the amount of information that they get through the palm of their hand, it makes them a whole different breed of individual.
Yes, indeed.
I mean, we can't understand all of the information they able to get when we used to have to use the encyclopedia.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's where we didn't have
Google. Their phone, and they can get whatever question they want answered, or get some information on it. That is serious.
That is. I mean, you're walking around with a handheld computer,
Right.
with all the information, like Nsoromma said, with all the information in the world.
Right.
And if you don't take and I'm talking to adults too. I'm talking, you know what? Damn this thing. This is so crazy. And I saw this on a post or something somewhere. During slavery,
right,
a black person, an enslaved black person, could get killed if it was found out that they could read.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
They wanted us to be illiterate as possible, so that we wouldn't know what to say when it's time to go to court.
Because what you said earlier,
as far as what
knowledge.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Knowledge is power.
Yeah.
Knowledge is king, man. So they don't want us to know that. And what made it so serious is that they know we didn't know their language anyway.
Right.
So then they, on top of that, turned around and put it in another language. So if we did learn this language, we wouldn't know the other language either. So we'll still be gullible. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and Latin is what's controlling our governmental system.
Right.
They speaking in Latin. So if we ain't our court system is Latin. So if we ain't understanding the language of Latin, if we don't know no Latin, and we go to court and they say something in Latin to us, like you getting life in prison in Latin, and are you okay with that?
What they call legalese.
Right. And they say at the end of that, are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Most of us say yes.
Yeah.
And
because we don't know no
better. You know what I'm saying? We don't even know what they said. We just want to get out of there thinking that we don't know he said life in that.
Right.
But then when they go, okay, you got a life sentence, you like, what? And you faint, and now that's how they get you. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about that knowledge, man.
It's all about that knowledge, the ability to communicate.
Definitely.
You know, and don't be afraid. You know, it's something I see people get shy. Shy. Oh yeah. Our own people.
Oh yeah.
You know, when talking about our problems, I see them on TV sometimes. You know, because they're sitting there. What's the sister's name? Cheryl Underwood.
Yeah.
The comedian. Yeah. She's on this show. I think it's called The Talk. And they had this controversy with the one of the white panelist Sharon Osbourne, who was speaking in favor of this Piers Morgan dude, who was coming off on the what's her name, Marley Marbles. You know, the princess, the half-breed was.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
I got you.
Well, Cheryl Underwood, you know, she tried to bring it soft and, well, I know that, you know, in your heart you're not racist, and wait a minute, this person just sat up there and said some of the most racist crap in the world. What you mean in your heart? You know what? Right. Not speaking what's real about race relations in order to be sensitive to the feelings of white people is a betrayal of your own people. Furthermore, to cater to the feelings of those that obviously don't give a damn about you clearly proves that you're mentally enslaved. Malcolm X. And Cheryl Underwood stood up there and tried to placate this woman. And this hussy sat up there talking, well, teach me about racism. Are you kidding me? You know all about it, you racist hussy. Oh, jeez Louise.
I mean, they always say it's a delicate situation when you're talking about that, you know, race, you know what I'm saying, racism. But it's really not. It's really one-sided, and the black people are basically getting treated the worst in the situation. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, in saying that, I still insert that every black person, so-called, could go put their own individual lawsuit in against the government for our reparations and for all the things that they have done to me as a person, not considered the black people, but if every black person would go and put in that, you know, lawsuit, it'll be a different type of situation. The courts would be now filled up, you know what I'm saying,
right,
with the right attack. You know what I'm saying? You have to attack the situation paper-wise too, because that's all they understand too, is black and white.
Right.
So if it's not in black and white and we ain't attacking the proper aspect of the situation in black and white, we'll never receive no results. You
That's
know what I'm
right.
saying?
Yeah. See, you know what? And I've been critical, and I'm gonna tell you this, but in spite of the fact that I've been critical of the NAACP.
Right.
Okay. But the NAACP in the 30s, 40s, 50s, and what have you, when they were taking the government to court, they had the right idea, and they understood that this battle against racism, this war of white supremacy on black people, is being fought on all fronts. And so that's how you have to approach it. That's how you have to fight it on all fronts. Economically, we are so economically foolish
With our money.
with our money.
Right. And I mean, we have the most power for the simple fact that we have economic power, and we can shift it to Italian. If we like something Italian and a new Italian style come out, and we like these glasses, everybody will go and get a pair of them glasses, and they're Italians. And them Italians will blow up. They'll get a couple singers and artists to say, Jay-Z, sing something Italian. They'll do a hook, and Beyonce, do something Italian. You know what I'm saying? And that's the way that they keep it going, and not letting us even do things like that for our own people.
Right. And we don't. And because, here's the thing, right? Look, there was a time where we had, an economic floor, economic structure within our community that the dollar bounced several times before it left the community.
Right.
Okay. A Jewish businessman said, we call black people liquid money.
Oh.
The same way that water falls out of a man's hands, money typically seeps out of a black person's hands the same way. Your community gets money and immediately gives it all away to people who aren't black.
But why?
We see that as a huge business opportunity.
Let's break that down.
Yeah. Why do we do that?
Why?
One, we are not investing in our community. Two, when we do, society at large, mainstream white supremacy attacks our economic structure. And they have done so for decades, since after slavery. Do you know that after slavery, that when black men were lynched, they were always in suit and ties? 9 times out of 10. The black man that was lynched was in a suit and tie. Why? Because he was a businessman and they were killing off the competition. That's why. Black Wall Street, Wilmington, North Carolina, Rosewood, St. Louis. Study these race riots where whites indiscriminately attack blacks. 9 times out of 10, it was about economics. Now we move into modern times.
Right.
Okay. And you have someone in business, a black person in business, and a black customer will go to them and always expect to hook up. But go right around the corner to the Asian and pay the full price. Right around the corner to the white man and pay the full price.
The Asian people hook their people up. The white people hook their people up.
Yeah.
I mean, the Italians hook their people up. I mean, that's only logic to think that, you gonna hook me up or something. You know what I'm saying? I'm supporting you. You know what I'm saying? But in turn, we'll go tip. Not only pay the right price, but tip the other nationalities.
Right.
And that's what I'm talking about. When we should want to tip ourselves and just pay for what we get the services from the other nationalities.
Yeah.
And we've been genetically and DNA programmed to just do the opposite. You know what I'm saying? Through that monkey test that you had
Mhm.
at that time.
Mhm.
People
Mhm.
probably forgot. Put a banana in the air, 12 monkeys in the room,
Right.
and then put a 13th monkey in there, the monkey in there, the 13th monkey see the banana, go grab it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like you never really understanding. You never really understanding the full. You never really understanding the full
Yes.
captivity
Mhm.
of the person's or the community's brain.
Mhm.
That mental warfare
Mhm.
is
And how it's affected.
yes,
Yep.
and how effective it is.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
so we have to start
Right. It starts here.
right.
It starts here. Like I always tell you, want to start a revolution, start at home. Start in your mind. That's where it starts at. That's where it starts at. The first thing we got to do is get the chains off our minds.
Right. Be willing to accept and learn and take as much knowledge as you can
Mhm.
and grasp it and hold it. Don't just read it and just let it
Right.
go through. You gotta feel it and understand it and be able to
Mhm.
transfer it to another person. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So
It's not enough to know.
right.
A lot of us know we got a lot of information. Like Nsoromma was mentioned earlier, you got a handheld computer you walking around with.
Almost definitely.
Okay?
You are one of the
Knowledge.
smartest individuals in the world right now.
Right.
Everyone.
That have knowledge
smartphone.
plus action equals progress.
Right.
Knowledge plus action equals progress. We got the knowledge, we got the information, but what are we doing with it? If you're just sitting on it and you're not acting on it, you're just going to be stagnant. It's great to know a lot of stuff, all right? But if that knowledge doesn't lead to action,
right, and applying
it,
yeah,
you just talking smack. WHGE 95.3 FM.
Open Eye Radio Show.
Yabba. Yabba.
Yo, what's good? I see you, Pete. Tony. Hey, yo, Raymond. What's good, fool? I see you. Hey, Darnell. What's happening? Eat it. Me say, what's good? I'm ready. I got you. Don't you worry about that. Yo, Mark. Thanks, man. Oh, yeah. Alan. What's good? Good topics? Oh, yeah. We always stay on it. You know what I'm saying? Here's something we'll talk about something that you might want to hear. You know what I mean? Yeah. Kia. Gloria. Bless you too, girl. Yeah. Yup. That's what we do. We doing it. You know what I'm saying? Stay tuned. We get ready to go back to the radio set. You know what I'm saying? And this is how we do it. We Facebook and radio, and Instagram. You know what I'm saying? We got the other, there's cameras everywhere. You know what I mean? So nothing that's petty. High on the wet with something called petty. Wanna play the game, but the brain ain't ready. Got a gun, but the aim ain't steady. Hit the wrong one somewhere in the sun. Playing for a funeral, got buried. Another one, a lot of pain in my city. Don't you know it's a lot of love in the city? Yeah, we need to change in our city because violence taking over our city. Ain't nothing pretty, but we gotta get to the nitty. Look where the problems fall, take it big and gritty. Design a plan to prevent the score. Pull a youth to the light, snatch it from the door.
WHGE 95.3 FM. The Open Eye with Patrice Gibbs
Nsoromma
in the building.
What's good, homie?
What's good?
Yo, me say, no worries, no worries. That's what's good. Larry, I see you.
All right. Yeah, buddy.
Yo, P, what's good? You got smoothies today? You doing the smoothies? What's happening? What's that mean?
What is that?
It was like a I don't know face. You doing smoothies or you not? You know? We're playing. swing by there and get one on my way to the grave. Yeah, that's right. I said on my way to the grave. You know what I'm saying? They don't know what's going on. I'll swing through there on my way to the grave.
I get you.
Boy, what's good? Underground comics too.
I talked it up.
Huh?
I talked it up out there. Underground comics.
Underground comics.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You might want you to do Uncle Richard.
Oh, definitely. He definitely is the man. I recommend him.
Make something happen.
I definitely recommend him.
I heard that.
That's 302-691-7411.
Those are wrong. Those that know me, know what's good. Those that don't, I'm on Spotify. I'm a Spotify artist. You know what I'm
You will
saying?
find out.
Check me out.
WHGE 95.3 FM. Hey, man,
What's that?
Monday, national holiday.
A national holiday.
Yeah.
I haven't did a holiday in about 10 years.
Yeah.
So what holiday is this?
It's my 60th birthday.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Yo, yeah, that's a holiday.
Yeah, that's right.
I pray that you made that
Yes,
all the way
indeed.
to that. You know
The
what
big
I'm saying?
6-0 coming on Monday.
Yeah.
Everybody celebrate me. Yeah, my ego is big. I made the big. I want
Yo,
the big 6-0.
the big 6.
Yes,
I
indeed.
pray I make it, man.
I'm feeling a day over 30.
Oh, word. Especially you still ride the bike and
Yeah.
walk and you still got all your senses.
Yeah,
you know
still
what
got
I'm
all my
saying?
senses.
Yeah,
That's
man.
word.
That's a
Yeah.
blessing in itself.
Big
man.
time. Big
Yeah.
time, brother. Big time.
Yeah.
That's word. And look, one of the things I've mentioned this several times in the past and what have you was that my mother
Right.
was against school busing. Okay.
Okay.
And yeah, and she had a reason for that. And her mindset was we need to desegregate the resources, not our children. We have the ability to teach our children ourselves.
Right.
And I tell you what Dr. King said about that. All y'all got all mixed up about Dr. King, the integrationalist. Well, he said, I favor integration on buses and in all areas of public accommodation and travel.
Right.
I am for equality.
Right.
However, I think integration in our public schools is different.
Right.
In that setting, you are dealing with one of the most important aspects of an individual, the mind.
Right.
White people view black people as inferior. A large percentage of them have a very low opinion of our race.
Hold on. Why do white people particularly think we
Are inferior.
Yeah, I mean,
Because that's what they've been indoctrinated to believe. That's what they've been taught. And they believe that. In spite of all the evidence to the contrary,
right.
you know, our inventors, Granville T. Woods, Latimer Lewis, and what have you, you know, our genius, the fact that we not only built Washington, D.C.
P. Smoothie said, happy birthday, homie.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. You know?
And it's a sister.
Sorry. Thank you, sister. Thank you, sister. Big ups. That's word. But like I said, you know, in spite of all the evidence to the contrary, not only did we build Washington, D.C.,
right,
but Benjamin Banneker, or Moore at the time, designed Washington, D.C.
Right, the architect.
Yeah. The architect. You know? Yeah. So where this ideal that we are inferior has been taught by the quote-unquote elites. There's nothing elite about these monsters, actually. But the so-called leaders and what have you of our society and academia and what have you.
Wow.
All right. They indoctrinate whites to believe that they are inferior. You know, it's something craziest thing. I see white people with low education who want to compare themselves to some white person that's a doctor. Okay. He went to school, got a PhD, did whatever he had to do. You can't compare yourself to him because you were not even bright.
No, that's not only that. You have one that had dedication on what it is that they know what they wanted to do and be at this certain age. to somebody that was just living in life and going through life as life comes, and that's what it is. And then they think, that's the same. It's not the same, because one studied to know about all of this particular thing that he can learn all about to be able to save or help somebody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, I mean, you can't even really have an argument about whatever that is.
Right.
If I studied whatever it was that I studied for all them years that make me the professional that I am today, and you just coming into the game or don't know nothing about the game and say something that's ignorant, you know what I'm saying? I mean, that's all the time. That's the cycle of the yin and the yang of life. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. Well, like Dr. King said, a large percentage of white people have a very low opinion of our race. People with such a low view of the black race cannot be given free reign and put in charge of the intellectual care and development of our children. That's from Dr. King.
Right. And they be the shock ones, because the ones that they dealing with, they have to dumb them down.
Yeah, they gotta try.
Like, to really have,
Imagine
something like this. Imagine an elephant, right? It's supposed to be one of the smartest
animals.
Yeah. So, okay, you take an elephant and you put it in a room with a monkey. And the monkey is supposed to be smart too. You know what I'm saying? So which one would be the smartest?
Well, I'll tell you like this. You can't.
They wouldn't worry about that.
No, they wouldn't.
They wouldn't. What I'm saying.
Right, I understand what you're saying.
So now, putting them in the room, we're worried about that.
Right.
They're not.
Right.
So they'll be getting together alone fine. In the room. So that wouldn't even be a question.
No.
And why? So why is the question there?
That's what.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's my whole thing.
I heard that. And see, here's the thing.
World.
Here's the thing. What they would do is they would criticize the elephant for not being able to turn a flip and climb a tree like a monkey, and therefore, you don't fit in that society. Yeah, you're lesser than.
Right. And then be mad at the monkey because it can't pick up
a log with its nose. And this is the silliness that goes on.
And that's how it is.
And that's how it is.
People get caught up in the American silliness of what they throwing in the media.
Right.
It's crazy, man.
Now, you got these kids going to school now online with Zoom and what have you.
And meaning, what I was saying was that they don't only brainwash us. As blacks, they brainwash everybody.
That's right, and that's what I said. They're indoctrinated. White people are indoctrinated to believe that we're inferior.
Right.
And I tell you, like I said, when I raised my hand when you said, about the kids in school and how they're trying to dumb down or make a black person feel a certain way.
Right.
It happened to me.
Of course.
Right. When I was in school, my 11th and 12th grade. In the 11th and 12th grade, I went to a predominantly white school.
Right.
And that was because my mom didn't want me bust out the Newark.
Okay.
So she moved to North Wilmington. I went to Mount Pleasant. Okay. I had an English lit teacher. All right. And she was determined to fail the 2 black students in her predominantly white class.
Wow.
Okay. So she was trying to hit us with everything that she just knew we wouldn't have been exposed to.
Wow.
And of course, what a lot of these, hostile suburban white female teachers believe is that we know nothing about Shakespeare.
Okay.
Well, I'm Jane Gibbs' son, and Jane Gibbs taught me about Shakespeare in the 8th grade.
Okay.
All right. So when it came time to do Shakespeare, she of course picked the play Othello. Well, the main character in Othello, the character Othello,
right,
the title character, was a Moor in the Shakespearean play, a black man.
Right.
Okay. So being the only black male in class, the teacher, of course, would have me read aloud the part of Othello.
Okay.
Okay. So the white kids get up and, we're going to read this whole play aloud. And, they're reading it hither, thine, hither, yeah, with no meaning, syntax, or understanding.
Right.
Okay. And then I get up to read. And I say, my blade to sing with ecstasy as it tasted the nectar of its several arteries. I slew the circumcised dog thusly, and the teacher looked at me and said, I'll be damned. Yeah, you got the right one, baby. You had the right one, baby. I could read me some Shakespeare. How you like that? Okay. But like I said, now we got these kids on Zoom.
Right.
Okay. The mother of black sixth grader filed a legal claim against the Palmdale School District Thursday over an alleged racist rant directed at her son and his family by a teacher who failed to sign off of Zoom. The hubby forgot to sign off of Zoom before she went into her racist rant. In the video, the teacher from Desert Willow Fine Arts, Science and Technology Magnet Academy can be heard disparaging the family and referring in a negative way to the ethnicity, according to the claim. The horrible comments the teacher made in the video are truly heartbreaking for a mother to hear and for her son to hear, said their attorney. And you know, oh wait, I got it here because she said some stuff. What she say? Wait a minute, give me a little chance here. Wait a minute. Oh, let's see. She said, no, that's not it.
Oh man.
But she accidentally stayed on and went to a racist, inflammatory rant, and the mother recorded the rant because she could not believe what she was hearing and thought no one would believe her since the comments were so outrageous.
Wow.
The teacher went on to call the family a piece of boo and said the boy had learned to lie to everyone and make excuses because this is what black people do. And this is somebody teaching your child. Are you kidding me?
That's what Martin was talking about.
That's what Martin was talking about.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, unless we take it in our own hands and get arms and be ready to defend ourselves to the 10th power and do this, we're going to go through this.
We're going through this. Our children are dependent on us.
Right. To stand up and be soldiers.
Right. To carve them a better future. They deserve a better future where their school doesn't marginalize our history and omit most of our contributions.
And they really trying to take the blackness out of history.
Oh yeah. Oh, most definitely.
Like we didn't exist in creating and helping and doing anything on this planet. That's crazy. Who would think? What type of person would? What
the hell, man? What the hell?
I mean, that's just sickening.
It is, man. And the crazy thing is,
and to vote all the time to make it your main purpose to do. Come on, man, that's a lot. Man.
And like I said, the crazy thing is when we have some of our own participate in that in our education. Some of our so-called mainstream educators and mainstream institutions that are, HBCUs, they are forced to do that.
This big house that costs $600,000, and that job is paying $200,000 a year for them to do it.
Right?
They gonna shut up, or they gonna read this piece of paper right here to your crowd.
Right.
Here, read this.
Right.
Take that off the board and read this right here. Of course they gonna do it.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the whole sellout.
And you know what that made me think of?
What?
When my man Damon Wayans said, you getting that great big check,
right?
And then they put you on the spot, and you get to thinking about that check, and they stick that mic in your face and say, "Is there racism in America?"
Nope. I ain't seen nothing. Master, I ain't seen no racism.
And that's right.
Nowhere, man. I mean, that's crazy, man.
Yeah. And our children deserve schools that don't marginalize their history, like I said, where they are not constantly dehumanized in the media in order to demoralize them to create justifications for them being routinely murdered by white cops. However, the problem is that so many so-called conscious people want to constantly debate about what we should call ourselves. We ain't got time for that. Okay? I don't give a damn what you call yourself because I know what the white supremacists call you. And they call you the N-word. I don't care what kind of car you driving. I don't care how much money you got. I don't care if you're a Christian, a Jew, a Moor, or whatever. They see you as the N-word.
Did you see Jigga's Jay-Z song? Still an N-word?
Yeah.
You see the video?
Yeah.
Yeah. and then he had got a little bit of controversy backlash from that.
Oh yeah.
But he had enough money to put it on his own platform, and they couldn't say nothing.
Not a damn
Can't
thing.
do nothing.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? So unless we're doing stuff like that, and that's the only way it'll break through, so they can see that that's not us. That's a picture that they portrayed us to be. You know
Portrayed us to be. That's right. And like you said, that's not us. Stop letting people define us. We need to, you know what? We need to define ourselves.
Right. You need to define you.
Right. And
you be that first spark that started to go all the way around like this coronavirus. You know what I'm saying? Spark that and it just keep lighting up.
That's word. That's word. Because you know what? Wait a minute. I got this thing right here. I got that side. Well, anyway. Oh yeah, I know, man. It's a moment, but you know, caught myself then. All right. Yeah. And you know, as you said, you know, whether walking while black or shopping while black or in distress while black, there are those who will not recognize your humanity, but will criminalize your blackness. And this can cost you your life. And this will continue, like you said, until black people draw a line in the sand. Platitudes and protests and marches and prayers and taking a knee and holding up hands, that don't work. If Black Lives Matter, there must be consequences for those that believe otherwise.
Yeah. If you're dealing with a vicious animal, you're not going to go to attack a vicious animal without no weapon.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. We're dealing with vicious people that treat us viciously.
Yeah.
So you gonna go to them with a sign in the air. Please don't clump me in the head no more.
You know?
Please don't clump me in the head no more. Right.
And you speaking French.
Click clack.
And I'm speaking Swahili. We ain't gonna have no meeting of the mind. That's obvious.
Right.
You know, if you speaking fire and bust me upside my damn head, and I'm speaking, please Lord, okay, I ain't gonna win that one. You know, I gotta bring the fire.
Just not checkers, man.
That's right. And you know what? I wish that some more people would at least play checkers and know that this game ain't really no joke.
Right.
But they gaming us. Damn. It's just crazy, bro. You know, last week you had mentioned when you were coming in, how angry I sound.
Oh.
Yeah. You know,
you feel for my peoples. You feel the pain for my people.
That's it.
Feel the pain.
I feel it. I feel it. You know, and as stated many times, we suffer from the slave mentality. We believe and accept the limitations the oppressor has placed on us. We got to stop that. Our primary goal is the liberation of our minds. This cannot be done easily or quickly. It can only be done through persistence and constant reprogramming of our thought process and value system. We have adopted the value system of the oppressor, which is individualistic. Look out for number one. This is in direct conflict with the philosophy that is actually in our DNA. Thus, it's detrimental to our well-being. There will always be those of us who cry, we can't do this or we can't do that. We got to exercise the demon can't out of our mentality.
And that's what I say all the time. I say don't use the word can't.
Can't.
Then it becomes an actuality.
You know, and it's not as difficult as some of us want to let on.
Right.
We don't need some big name to get started.
Right.
We can't afford to waste another speaker's fee and receive no change. We don't have to start with a call to some big mass meeting because they're usually poorly attended anyway or written off by most as a circus or completely innovative. Communication is the seed. This is why Nsoromma and I do what we do.
Almost definitely.
We are communicators. And we're communicating to your third eye, to your mind, to free you, not only your mind, but you physically, to let you out of that trap. You know what? Hit your friends and family. And remember to ask anybody that you discuss our situation with to pass it on. Because it's from that place to start, that we will build our future and our children's future.
Yes.
Do not, under any circumstances, think that me and Nsoromma's egos are mixed up in this.
Definitely not.
That's not who we are. We are not some wild-eyed, militant Malcolm X Farrakhan wannabes. We are the intellectual children. We are the intellectual children of Malcolm X, Dr. Clark, Drusilla Dungy Houston, Chancellor Williams. We are their intellectual children, and we do this because we have participated in intense study of our history and present condition, and we have a deep concern for the plight of our people.
Sure.
This is not the effort of some pseudo-intellectual.
Right.
We're not tripping, and we're not doing this through our own great wisdom and vision.
Right.
Or we're not thinking that we're going to be the would-be saviors of the black man.
Right.
Okay? And what we're telling you is not set in stone. It does not end all to be all. It's a proposal, a place to start. The black man might continue in his self-destructive course, weaken on unified, exploited and forever subject to the whim of the oppressor. This tragic situation might continue into an uncertain future, but never let it be said. No one, no member of the black race, studied the main problem from a historical perspective and offered a solution, which is what Nsoromma said last week. My anger and my passion is there.
Right.
Okay? But I'm not coming without solutions. I'm not coming without solutions. Never let it be said, no one tried to point a possible path out of the abyss of oppression. I'm Patrice Gibbs.
I'm Nsoromma.
The Open Eye.
WHGE 95.3.
And like I always tell you, destiny determines who enters your life, but you decide who stays. Therefore, value those who value you, and don't treat those as a priority who treat you as an option. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
All right.
Yo, what's good? You know what it is? The show just ended. Yo! And that's the way it go.
Yes,
you know
dude.
what I'm saying?
Yes, indeed.
And yo, Pat, say peace. You know my phone was ringing.
Yes, indeed. Peace. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for coming on in. Peace over there. That's where we got cameras all over the place.
Yeah,
letting you know.
Yeah. Hey, yo, one love.